could ask me, how can I effectively blend my personal values and lifestyle into my branding strategy? It is a very valid question, because people are actually trying to see you and then your personal branding efforts. To effectively blend personal values and lifestyle into a branding strategy, consider some of these following approaches, which is an outcome of lot many insights from various sources and research. Define your core values very, very clearly. Clearly articulate your core values, as they will serve as the foundation of your personal brand. Values are the foundation of your personal brand. Reflect on what matters most to you. Is it integrity, creativity, sustainability, storytelling? Find out which one. And ensure these values are consistently represented in all your branding efforts. This alignment will foster authenticity, as we have been telling again and again. Bring in your personal stories. People love listening to stories, and if they've really happened with you, nothing like it. Share personal anecdotes and experiences that exemplify your values and your lifestyle. Storytelling is a very powerful tool, dear friends, and it can create lovely emotional bonds with your audience. Through storytelling, you can illustrate how your values have influenced your own decisions and your own actions, and then, and only then, your brand becomes highly relatable. And people start remembering you for your value system. When you are telling your stories, when you are telling your original happenings, your failures or your successes, then there is a ring of authenticity all around you. Because now you are genuinely and emotionally, you start presenting yourself. And authenticity resonates with audiences and helps differentiate you from others in your field. For example, you do not have to be cutthroat. You do not have to tell, I have done this, I have failed this. Rather, share your successes, your challenges, demonstrate vulnerability while remaining professional. We are all human beings. We will all fail. Nothing wrong in failing. But when you put it through a story, then it fosters a wonderful openness, transparency, loyalty amongst people who are following you. This content, this storytelling content of yours should align with your value system, the values that you have decided for yourself. Ensure that each of your content, whether it is a blog post, whether it is a video, whether it is a social media update, or it is a LinkedIn write-up, a white paper, whatever it is, it reflects your core values. Core values are many. We'll come to that. And if possible, can it reflect a bit of your lifestyle? Then it becomes wonderful. For example, if sustainability is your core value, then start sharing tips on eco-friendly practices or highlight sustainable brands that you support. This consistency reinforces your brand identity values, because of which then your audience starts engaging with you. They will also come up with their stories. They will also let you know their successes. Thereby you encourage interaction by inviting feedback or discussions around this value-oriented topics which are related to your life. You can use social media and various platforms in social media to ask questions, create polls, engage your audience in conversation about shared interests or shared values. This not only enhances engagement with your audience, but also builds a community around your brand. Brand community is something which is extremely important. One of the best brand communities is that of Nike, is that of some of the bikes, Harley Davidson. They have got wonderful brand communities. Do it for yourself. Utilize visual branding. Incorporate visual elements that reflect your lifestyle and values into your branding materials. If you have got a lifestyle that you want to show to the whole world, and if you see there is a value in it, not a show-off factor, then dear friends, go on, create that imagery and let the creativity come out. If you value creativity, use artistic designs, use color, use abstracts, use nature so that it conveys that particular aspect of your personality. Consistent visual branding helps reinforce recognition multifold. Multifold. Because people will then start recognizing you because of those creative things that happen on your handle. Create a lifestyle brand if you want to create. Craft a narrative that connects with your personal story, with the lifestyle you promote through your brand. And this is one of the most visually richest possible things that one could do. The narrative should be such that it can evoke emotions and it can resonate with your target audience's aspirations. Do remember, the audience has an aspiration. That's the only reason they are coming to listen to your personal branding efforts. For example, if you are a fitness coach, share your fitness. How fitness has transformed your life and how it can impact others positively. There are innumerable examples of how fitness has changed people's lives. Lifestyle branding is a very, very popular medium on the innumerable social media, starting from Instagram to Facebook to lifestyle. Only thing you must remember is it must align with the set of brand values that you have decided much priorly. And it must align. So your values and your lifestyle gets integrated. Sometimes show your audience what is happening behind the scenes. We come and stand in front of a camera and start talking, but share your anxiety, your hard work before you come in front of a camera. Glimpses of your daily life. What are the values you have? What are the volunteering work that you are doing? What are your self-care routines? And people love to listen to them. People see the vulnerable side of your personal brand. And this transparency makes them think, hey, I'm also like them, right? I can also do like him. And that's where the aspiration quotient comes in. Motivation quotient comes in. Stay consistent. That's the only thing. Stay consistent through your identity, through your tone, the tone with which you talk. Is it motivational? Is it aspirational? Is it leadership? Is it authoritarian? Fix it for yourself and use that tone or style to represent your values, your lifestyle, and engage your audience with what is happening in front of the camera, what is happening behind the camera, both ways. And this consistency, transparency will suddenly, make you very transparent and thereby recognition. Regularly, at regular intervals, please assess whether your personal values are adding value to your personal branding efforts. Seek feedback from trusted people or people who are mentors to you to identify the areas of improvement or maybe adjustment, because feedback keeps coming if you call for them. You should listen to the feedback because feedback is the nutrition on which your brand can sustain and can sustain authentically over a period of time. You do not build a brand for today. It has to sustain a period of time. So by implementing some of these strategies, dear friends, you can effectively blend personal values and lifestyle into a cohesive branding strategy that will talk about your personal brand across the world. The world is so small because of social media. So maybe some of your friends in some other part of the globe are listening to you. Correct? But you can ask me, how can I align my personal values with my professional goals? Now here comes personal goals and professional goals. And how do they walk together to create your personal brand? How do you do it? Is it for a long-term fulfillment? Is it for success in your career? How are you going to bring these two diametrically opposite things, professional and personal values, together? Let's look at this a little more in depth. How do you integrate these things? If you know, there is something called self-reflection, right? Self-awareness. If you can go back to module 1, self-discovery is the word we used. Begin with self-discovery. Begin with introspection to identify your core values. Consider these following techniques. Write down the principles that are most important to you. Dear friends, write it down on a piece of paper. Don't think. You need to write. Some things like integrity, creativity, family, values, family comes first, or community involvement comes first. What comes first for you in your life? You need to write it down in black and white. Reflect on your successes, on those moments when you really felt truly satisfied with yourself. In those moments, what are the values that were being honored? Think about it. Can you pinpoint and tell exactly this is what has happened? That can provide insight into your individuality. It can tell you what matters to you most in your life. You can also start writing down, what are your current goals. Evaluate your existing professional goals against your identified values. Right? So there is some values that you have written, and then there is a professional goals. Professional goals can be short term, and there has to be a long term professional goal also. Compare them. Try and understand them. Where are you standing today? I'm sure most of you are young, not old like me, right? So stand there. Assess whether each goal aligns with your core values, or is there a conflict? If there is a conflict, identify it. Remove it. Identify those values which resonate with your goal, right? And if they're not, then try to minimize them. How do you minimize them? You have to redefine your goals. You have to redefine your values because they are at a conflict. Question is, why are they at conflict? Eliminating conflict is extremely important in our lives. Sometimes we have superficial goals. Sometimes we have peer pressure goals. But then they are not goals. You're doing it for somebody. You need to do it up for you, not for anybody else. If you can think about your values, if you can think about your goals, if you want to refine them, please refine them. Move out of pressure. And then you write down a new set of existing goals. Modify them. Modify them so that you stand strong and you reflect your values. For example, today's world, work-life balance is crucial to you. So redefine your goal. If your goal is focused on salary increase to include, then it's a problem. But if you want that I must devote time to my family too, then family and work needs to have a balance as well as a financial stability. So now, with the new set of aligned goals which you have just now thought about, or if you have found any conflict, then start writing down your SMART goals. Now, what is SMART goal? This is something those who have done MBAs or BBAs, they definitely know, because it is specific goals, measurable goals, achievable goals, relevant goals, and all of them are time bound. Time is the only thing which is important, dear friends. For example, if a community service is a value, set a goal to volunteer a certain number of hours each month. If that is a value and if that is a part of your goal, then of course comes long term versus short term. Differentiate short term aspirations. Becoming a leader in your field. Let us say, I want to become the football leader. Okay, great, no problem. Short term values. So start working accordingly, right? Get trained accordingly, get certifications accordingly, be the football captain. Or long-term values are very different. In long-term values, you have to understand employer alignment. You have to understand organizational culture. If you are employed, evaluate how your personal goal aligns with your employer's mission and values. That means research your company's values, your organization's values. I hope, and we all must hope, that there is no clash. Ensure that organization's culture and objective resonate with your personal beliefs. If this is there, then you have a wonderful job satisfaction and motivation. Otherwise, we are always frustrated. We are always in an angry mood. Now, that doesn't help. Support your organizational goals. Consider how achieving your personal goals can contribute to the broader objective of your organization. Organization is built only by all of us working together. So each one of our achievements is an organizational achievement. Remember that and work accordingly. Remain adaptable. Recognize that aligning personal values with professional goals is an ongoing process. It is not written on stone. You can keep on changing them. Be flexible. As circumstances change, be willing to reassess and adjust your goals while remaining true to your core values. Continuously keep reflecting. We forget. We get into an organization and we forget to reflect, and then we get into the flow of the work. But regularly take time to reflect on how well your professional life aligns with your professional beliefs and personal beliefs, both. The organization's thought process and your thought process must match. This practice can help maintain harmony between the two citadels, one you, one the organization. Correct? And that gets you a lot of success. I would suggest create a personal mission statement. Formulate a mission statement that encapsulates both your personal values and professional aspiration. This statement serves as a guiding principle for your decision making and goal setting. It ensures consistency in both the areas, professional and personal. So if you write down your mission, you will start working towards this. And many of our people, from Ankur Warikoo to Sandeep Maheshwari, they have given a statement, right? And that is their mission and their vision. So you have to align your values, emulate successful people, put in your professional goals all together, make them align with each other, keep revisiting them, get your job satisfaction into your overall personality, and thereby you have a wonderful mental well-being and a sustainable success in your career. Success is very important because if we are not successful, then it does not work. But to be successful, we need to work hard and we need to work in phases. When you pursue goals that resonate with what truly matters to you, work becomes more fulfilling and meaningful. And there's a huge satisfaction because of which success starts coming to you. And success gets reflected in your personal brand. Now, you could ask me, what are the common challenges that you can face when you have to align personal values and professional goals? Aligning personal values with professional goals is essential. I repeat, it is essential for achieving fulfillment and success in one's career. There are some common challenges which arise during this process, and there are obstacles that many of us come through and we need to get over them. They are very common things, but I would like to pinpoint them for you. For example, there are societal expectations, there are family pressures, there is a peer influence which can push us towards traditional metrics of success, making it tad difficult to prioritize personal values. For example, the desire to achieve financial stability may lead some of us to pursue a career path that conflicts directly with our core beliefs. It also conflicts with our passions, but then there is a peer pressure. So we are doing that job. Many of us fear change. The fear of stepping away from a well-established career path to pursue something more aligned with personal values can be daunting, can be disruptive. Individuals worry a lot about consequences of making significant changes, such as leaving a stable job for a more fulfilling one, but a very uncertain one. It is uncertain because you are stepping into an unknown reality. To get out of your comfort zone is the requirement. Now, if you are ready for that, only then. Many of us have got many financial concerns, and that's natural. Worries about financial stability often deter many of us from pursuing goals that align with our personal values. The need to maintain a certain income level can lead to compromises that conflict with one's beliefs, resulting in dissatisfaction and stress. We need to come out of that. We need to plan for it. And we need to work for that. Sometimes we don't have a clarity with regarding to our own personal values. It makes it very, very challenging to align with our professional goals, because we don't have a clear understanding of what truly matters to us. To many of us, individuals may find themselves pursuing goals that they do not like at all. It is not there in their core belief, but they're doing it. Now, this cannot really bring success in life. One more problem aligning professional and personal goals is time constraints. Balancing current professional responsibilities while trying to realign our goals can be very challenging. Many individuals feel overwhelmed by their existing commitments, leaving little time for self-reflection, self-discovery, or pursuing new opportunities that may better align with their values, right? So somebody must be a wonderful corporate person but doesn't find any time to do any social work, but loves doing social work. Now there's a conflict. Sometimes conflicting interests will come up. There may be instances where personal goals are exactly opposite to professional aspirations. For example, I desire for a work-life balance, but this might conflict with the demands of a very high-pressure job, which requires me either to travel very frequently or it wants me to be in my office space for long, long hours. What do I do? Do I take care of my home? Do I take care of my office? Now, this leads to stress and dissatisfaction. Again, alignment doesn't work. Organizational friction. Oh, keep away from it. If personal values significantly clash with those of workplace, individuals may experience massive stress. This misalignment sometimes creates a very toxic environment and hinders professional growth. Get out of it as soon as possible. Realize it and move out. Okay, there could be situational pressures. Let us say those who work in finances, quarterly targets for sales, crisis situation, peer influence, or you want to win something very quickly, or some research needs an immediate result. Oh, these are very small time pressure, that's okay. You only need to recognize this pressure, maintain your integrity, and align all your actions. Time. Take care of your time, take care of your personal beliefs, your ethics, and your personal values. And then work under this small little pressure for achieving your professional goals. Professional goals will always give you achievement if you keep all these things in mind. There will be challenges. Don't get worried about that. If there are no challenges, it is not worth, right? But acknowledge all these obstacles. Develop strategies to overcome them. What kind of strategies can you develop? Seek out clarity on your values. Engage in regular self-reflection. Foster open communication in your office as well as at home. Individuals can work towards achieving a beautiful, harmonious balance between personal beliefs and professional aspirations if we can do all of these nuggets that I just now said. Well, now question can come, how can I identify my core personal values? You can ask me this question. Identifying your core personal values is very crucial step in understanding yourself and in guiding your decisions in life and career. Because all of this thing will get reflected in your personal brand. Here are some effective methods to help you discover your core values based on basic research. Reflect on the key life moments. All of us have got some beautiful, vulnerable moments in our life. Take time to think about those significant moments in your life. They could be both positive and negative. But ask yourself, what experiences made you feel proud or made you stand tall and made you feel fulfilled? What situations left you angry and disappointed? Reflect on these situations. These situations can reveal what actually matters to you. If you cannot think back, then it is very difficult. So reflect. For example, you felt very proud while helping other people. It may indicate that compassion is one of your strongest core values. Second thing, identify your role models. List down people whom you admire and their qualities and their values. Can you embody them? Can you reflect on them? Can you think what are they? Write them down. What traits do they possess that you value? What is it in them that you are liking? How do they express their values in their lives? Study that. These exercises can help clarify your own values by highlighting the characteristics that you aspire to emulate. Right? You want to learn, you want to talk like them, you want to look like them, you want to work like them. So study them. Use a core values assessment sheet. Consider taking a core value assessment which is available right on the internet, which typically involves ranking various values based on their importance to you. For some, it could be travel. For some, it could be compassion. For some, it could be honesty. For some, it could be hard work. There is a pattern that you can see in your responses, providing you insight into what you value most. Right? So keep writing down those adjectives. Create a master list of your values. Review this list of common personal values and select those that you feel are with you. Initially write as many as you feel connected to. As many. Then narrow them down to your top 5 or 6. And they should be significant because you would have taken some life decisions only because of these values. Thereby, those top 5 or 6 guides you subconsciously, unconsciously. And they are very, very important. Categorize and identify many themes in your life. Once you have a list of potential values, categorize them into related groups. For instance, if you have several values which are related to personal development, right? Let us say growth, learning, self-improvement. Group them together under a broader theme which is called personal growth. This is one basket. This process will help you simplify your list, and it will also highlight many central themes in your values, your core values, correct? There is something which is also called environment, beyond all that you have spoken till now. What is the ideal environment that you want to live in? Think about the environments where you feel most comfortable and at ease. Please ask yourself, what aspects of these environments contribute to your sense of well-being? Your well-being, both mental as well as physical, is extremely important. Do they align with specific values? Let us say something like tranquility, community, creativity. What is it because of which you feel very comfortable in such an environment? Identify these conditions that make you thrive, and it will provide you clues about the core values that you love and you want to live according to them. Always look at your reactions. Pay attention to your emotional reactions in various situations. Strong feelings, they could be positive, they could be negative, but they indicate underlying values, subconscious values in an individual. What makes you feel very satisfied? Or what is the situation because of which you get angry or you get frustrated? For example, for some people, dishonesty angers them. It is likely that honesty is an important value for that person. For example, to me, somebody who is very hypocritical, I get angry, right? So I know sincerity is my core value. Write a personal mission statement. I have already said to you, after identifying your core values, please consider drafting a personal mission statement that encapsulates, that puts, integrates all these values and reflects how you actually want to live your life. And this statement can serve as a guiding principle for decision making and goal setting. By employing these methods, you will be able to identify your core personal values effectively, leading a greater clarity both in your personal as well as your professional life. Your personal and professional life understanding will empower you to make the right choices, the correct choices that shall align with who you are actually and what you believe in actually. What are these most common core values people identify? Isn't that a question? I think that's a question. What are these most common core values? Let me try and give you some little examples. When we're talking about values so much, because it is an important part of personal branding, because that will shape your identity and that will shape your personality. Some of the most common core values that anybody in this world can identify are something like, integrity. A very strong core value. What does integrity mean? Act ethically and transparently in all dealings where you prioritize honesty and accountability. So you're putting in so many things together and then it becomes your integrity. Whereas honesty is another core value. Truthfulness, transparency in communication. You need to be very, very transparent, truthful. Another core value is compassion, which is really, really required in today's world. Showing kindness and empathy towards others. Valuing relationships and emotional connections. Value a human being. That is the most important thing. Be compassionate. Another big core value is respect. Valuing dignity and the right of individuals. Fostering an environment of mutual consideration. Wonderful core value. Responsibility is another core value. Take ownership of your own actions and their consequences. Being accountable both in personal and professional contexts. Responsibility is a very, very important citadel for your growth, and that could be your core value. Growth, of course, is one of the biggest values in life. It emphasizes on your personal development, learning, continuous improvement, and always looking upwards, aspirational. Another core value, creativity. What do I mean by this? Are you looking into innovation? Do you value innovation? Do you like originality? Can you think out of the box? Look at the startup world in India. All innovative ideas. They are all creative because they're thinking outside the box. Community. People who are compassionate, people who want to work for a better social understanding have a beautiful core value, that is community. Fostering a sense of belonging and commitment to the welfare of others within the society in itself. And to top it all, if your core value is balance, where you are striving for harmony always, whether it is work, whether it is relationships, whether it is self-care, whether it is innovation, you are striving for an harmony in the 24 hours of the cycle of the sun. Okay, adventure, another core. Do you value exploration, new experiences? Do you like to embrace change? Do you remember we said we are very afraid to look into change? The adventurous guys are not afraid. They go ahead. Courage. Those who are adventurous are courageous. They are highly willing to face fears, take risks, stand by their own beliefs. Another big core value is justice. Valuing fairness, equality, and standing up against injustice or discrimination, right? Loyalty, another big factor. Being faithful to your commitments, to your relationships and beliefs, and fulfilling them. That is more important. And for many of us, family is a big core value because we love to prioritize our family, which brings in relationships and responsibilities as a central core theme to our life. Many of us love to look at spirituality. Many of us have got a spiritual bent of mind where we are thinking of philosophy, spirituality, God, yet they all come back to provide guidance to our lives. Small, small, small one-word things, but they are very important. Authenticity, as I said earlier, will be one of the core values of life. Knowledge, of course, is the strength on which each one of us stand in this world. Because we need to value education, we need to be in the pursuit of wisdom, not only information, correct? Helping people, service to others, service to society